All right, and are we hot? Is it recording?
Is she on?
It's on. All right, hello world. We are back. It's been a minute. We're black, so we never on time. But anyway, welcome back to an episode of The Hub.
The Hub.
The Hub.
Sure.
This is the Hub.
This is,
Can we get rights for that?
I don't think so. Can we? This is The Hub. Let's just sing one of our songs. Looking all suspicious. I
I don't want you to be too far away from
We can use that. Anyway, hi guys. This is episode 2 of The Hub. I'm the host, the leader of the group, the Beyonce of them all.
Oh God.
Brandon. Y'all are some hating ass bitches. Every single one of y'all.
I could.
Anywho, I'm Brandon. We have Pharaoh here. Hello.
Hello, how are you, my friend?
Hating ass. And we have some new people today. We have Bageera, my good sis. And we have Jay over there.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about some shit today.
Yes, we have some new people filling in for Tandrell. He is currently out right now. He is sickly. He is having a hard time with the holidays. So, yeah, we have some other queer people of color with us. So.
Emphasis on hard.
Mm-hmm. Very.
Yes, Tandrell couldn't be here, but he'll be here for the next one, guys. So don't miss him too much.
If he's not, then you know what happened. He got fired.
Fired, bitch. Anywho, but on this one, maybe it's better for him to not be here because y'all might cancel him.
Nah, I'm gonna fight for him to come back.
Jay, no.
To come back.
So we're talking about some cases that are been happening in America recently. You guys have probably seen the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. If you've not heard that, Kyle Rittenhouse, a young man who went out in the city of Kenosha with an AR-15 style rifle because the city was in just complete unrest for the shooting of Jacob Blake, a man who is now paralyzed. He went out there and he says because he wanted to go out and protect private property. Am I correct? I believe.
Lord.
He wants to go out protect some private property. So he took his rifle, traveled across state lines, and while black people were, protesting for their lives, rightfully so, he wanted to go out and just use his white privilege to say, I can't do that. Let me not do that, y'all. Let me not do that. Let me not drag him yet. So
Let's ease him in.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. Got ahead of myself. So Kyle went out with his a rifle. Where you get rifles just out of nowhere, I don't know.
Walmart. The Kmart.
Kmart. Kilomart. The KKK Mart.
Oh, the KKK Mart.
No way.
That was a good one. The KKK Mart.
That was good.
But yeah, Kyle went out with a rifle during a eventful night, a tragic night for black people, and he ended up killing 2 people and injuring another man. Their names, Joseph and Anthony, were both killed, and he injured another man. I think his name is George or Gage, something white. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
As I dutifully hold
R.I.P.
your
to
notes.
him.
As I dutifully hold your notes for
R.I.P.
you.
to them. They're those 2 men. They lost their lives. What happened was, there was an altercation between those men, and Kyle said he feared for his life, and he shot all 3 of them, and 2 of them died. And now, so fast forward to today, Kyle Rittenhouse has been acquitted of all charges that were brought against him. So for having a rifle that he wasn't supposed to have at 7, he was 16 or 17. He was 17 at the time because he's 18 now, I believe. So he was 17 at the time. And so he got charged with having a gun, using that deadly weapon, and for homicide twice over. So he got acquitted of all of those charges. So how do you feel about that? First and foremost, Jay, you want to go first?
Obviously.
Nah, I'm gonna
Who wants to go? Not
piggyback.
I feel like that was a good reaction. You should go. You should let that out.
I don't know. I just feel like obviously he was
Killer? You could say it.
yeah, I mean,
Killer.
he wanted to kill some Negroes.
But
That's what it was.
But the funny thing is, he didn't kill no Negroes.
Well,
Right.
that's he probably planned on killing Negroes. But
You think so?
Yeah.
You think he woke up and said, "Okay, they protesting
Yes.
today. I'm gonna go out and kill some black folks."
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know? So,
I mean, I think the reason why we even brought up this topic is because we all seen that interview that he did with those Trump supporters. I don't know what channel that is. I don't watch that channel. I could walk right past that channel. Sorry to that channel.
Yeah, today was my first time seeing that.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think we seen that, and I think that was either yesterday or a couple of days ago. It was posted.
Yeah, it was right recent.
Yeah.
Where they were talking about something that LeBron had said through a tweet. I don't know exactly what it was, but
LeBron's always here for Black Lives Matter. He's always
Yeah.
here for that.
He said something to the degree of like, because it was a picture of the Kyle dude crying, and he was like, "Oh, he looked like a lemon
that he was a
head."
lemon.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
some shit like that. And he was like, just making fun of him.
Yeah,
clowning
so I
him.
guess Kyle took that and of
Yeah.
course, took that and he ran with it. So he ran to the opposite side because he couldn't run to the other side.
And keep in
these are-
mind, Kyle Rittenhouse said, "I support Black Lives Matter."
Yeah.
But so wait. So he said he supports Black Lives Matter.
Oh yeah.
But was at a protesting Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
Okay, go off.
But
Right.
he shot the white people though. So I guess that technically counts.
I don't know if like
So
I don't know
wait,
if he's
It
trying
cancels
to,
out.
Wait,
It cancels out.
wait. So was that considered white on white crime?
Oh, absolutely.
Ghetto.
Absolutely.
Ghetto.
Absolutely.
Hooligans.
He did the Lord's work. He did the Lord's work.
Oh my god.
Apparently.
And he's not-
He
They're
did the
allies.
Have
What are you talking about?
y'all seen him being
No,
labeled
they
as a
were
thug?
Were they allies? The people that he shot?
Yes,
Yeah.
they were allies. The people that he shot were telling him to like, why are you doing this? Like, get out of here.
I mean, listen.
I mean, white people are still white people. at the
Right.
end of the
I
day.
think the
but
white man is the devil.
we have
so-
white allies. Let's not.
Yes,
No.
It is what it
they
is.
are genetically mutants, and we're not going to talk about that right now.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah, that's a whole science
Oh,
class.
damn.
But I think that they are, no, on a serious note, white people can be our allies, and I'm grateful for the ones that are. But they still will never understand the black experience.
Never.
So it doesn't matter how much of an ally you may be, you will never understand the black experience.
Exactly.
And then they also have the opportunity to switch up. I've seen so many white people, like Kyle Rittenhouse himself, who says that they're pro Black Lives Matter, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're at a Trump rally.
Right.
Or their grandparents voted for Trump.
Right.
Or their parents voted for Trump. Or they go to a school where their director is like a Trump supporter. No matter where they go, they still have those Trump supporters. So for me, it doesn't matter. You would never understand the whole black experience, even though being a Trump supporter has nothing to do with the black experience or white experience. But it technically does, because look at what the fuck we have to go through. But
Well said.
yeah, but that video of him talking about it wasn't really him that said it, but did you hear the other guy who said something about Chinese slaves? Bro,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a girl that said it took all 4 of LeBron's brain cells to write that tweet,
That was wild.
and then someone
Oh, the
piggybacked.
worst part
Someone
coming
someone
up.
piggybacked that off of saying that that it was China,
Yeah.
Chinese slaves, young Chinese slaves.
I get that.
They said something like
Yeah.
for each word, one Uyghur was killed.
What the fuck does that mean?
A Uyghur.
Yeah.
What you call it?
So,
What does that
so
even mean?
Uyghurs, the Uyghurs are it's an ethnic group that lives really close to China. It's called East Turkestan is the name of their country, and China has renamed that to Xinjiang. Basically, for a while, we would hear about, like, in the news that, like, they were trying to wipe out the Uyghur culture, culturally assimilate them into Chinese culture so that they could then, like, conquer that
So a form
area.
of slavery.
Right, and they were saying, people were coming out and saying,
shit.
my parents have been put into basically an internment camp. It's a re-education center. And they're like forcing them to eat pork. Uyghurs are usually like Muslim. They're forcing them to eat pork, doing all this stuff to like wipe out their culture. But now, I mean, I don't know. Like, some people are saying that this was like a media hoax. And I'm sure, like, most conservatives agree that this is probably, like, a media hoax or
like-
whatever. And
like-
so if they're conservative...
Yeah, or like the Sandy Hook.
That might be why she's
Sandy Hook.
That might be why she's
Okay,
making
Jay,
light of the
hold that
situation
thought.
and being like, oh,
Hold
yeah,
that.
one Uyghur was killed because they don't even believe that, you know, this is happening.
That's wild.
So you're
That's
saying...
But out of all names, you have to put Uyghur. And I know it's with a hard ER. What is with these white people in hard ERs?
They want to say it so bad.
No way.
But so...
What is with... Okay. But it's the Chinese that are taking over these Uyghurs, right?
The Chinese government.
That's wild.
I mean, the only thing that I know certainly is that they have renamed East Turkestan to Xinjiang. And so then, as far, like, I don't really know necessarily what's true or not, because no one knows what's going on there.
We could definitely look into that. And
I didn't know that.
Talk about that, because that sounds...
It's a lot.
But Kyle Rittenhouse was on that show after being acquitted of all those charges that he got, talking to... Well, we know for one is a Trump supporter because they're wearing a Trump shirt. And you want to bring up modern day slavery to a group of white people. It's sounding very white in here. It's sounding very white in here.
You know, the good part about that interview was that it was over. We didn't have to keep listening to it after it was over. But also, like, they also have a great influence. And they're using it wrong. Like, how they interjected the whole conversation with each other. Like, how one went from one topic to another topic to another topic. That was really good. They have, like, the real skill set to kind of, like, take over media.
They got the platform.
Yeah. And they have the skill set to it.
Yeah.
But they're not using it correctly. I mean, I guess it took all 4 of our brain cells to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
I guess it took all our brain cells. I mean,
I just don't understand how that, you're giving a platform to someone who murdered 2 people, because that's what he did. He murdered 2 people, and giving them a platform to talk about LeBron James. I burned my jersey because I was a LeBron James fan, but now I'm not. That's what you want to talk about?
No,
That's
I feel
what you
like
want
that's
to talk
a
about?
lot of what goes down at those kind of, like, it's always like deflect. Like, there's a serious issue and it's like, let's talk about bullshit.
Definitely.
Go off.
Definitely. I mean, I've seen a lot of other people, like, what was the other the other woman's name that passed away? She was black also.
Atiana Jefferson.
Yes, Atiana
Yes, Atiana Jefferson. She was a woman. If you guys don't know that story, she was watching her nephew, I believe. It was in Texas, I believe, Fort Worth, Texas, and a neighbor called the non-emergency number to do a wellness check on Atiana or her neighbor. They called the non-emergency number. So didn't call 911. Called whatever you call 1-800-911. I don't know. Whatever the hell. I don't know. Whatever the hell. They texted the number. I don't know what the hell. And an officer showed up and saw that her front door was open. Now, black folks, we know the front door could be open because kids went in and out the house. She had her nephew. There are groceries in the car. They go make another trip. Who knows? But the officer, instead of making his presence known, saying, "Hey, Texas police, whatever, Texas PD," went around the house in the backyard, saw Atiana through the window, I believe, and just told her to freeze, hands up, or whatever. Now she in her home. Didn't know what was going on. There's a white man in her backyard, and she does what she has to do, and he just starts shooting at her.
Yeah.
And she had her nephew in the house, and the body cam footage shows that man he never announced himself. He never said for Texas police, none of that. And Atiana is now dead because of that.
So, and then, okay, let's put emphasis on a couple of things. So, the first thing that you said was that this neighbor called a non-emergency number.
Non-emergency.
This is one of the reasons why we push to abolish the police completely. Not to reduce police. Because we come up with all of these things to help us deal with the fact that why are police killing us? We need to have, police aren't trained enough. They, you know what I mean? They don't have enough training. They freak out. They don't know what to do.
Bageera.
We need to have other departments. We're writing all this legislation and wasting all this money. And it's still not enough. She didn't call 911.
Someone-
The police had no business even being
Her
there.
neighbor called.
A trained professional should have showed
Yeah.
up. Someone who was ready to do a wellness check should have showed up. Then secondly, the police came and they didn't announce themselves.
No.
Not only were they not supposed to even be there, they didn't announce themselves. What does that say to me? They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yep.
They were going to kill someone that
But
day.
don't the police do wellness checks?
All the time.
They're not supposed to.
But
You're
you can,
supposed-
but you can have a wellness check done by
really?
police.
Yeah, you can. Yes.
So the thing is, like, you can do a wellness check from wherever, because
Right.
you know there's elderly, there's people who are sick,
Right.
so you can actually call 911 and do to do a
A
wellness check.
wellness check. Yes.
Okay.
So when you call 911 and do the wellness check, it depends on like your jurisdiction. So you can have either the sheriff come,
Right.
who usually does it within your town. So if you live inside a town, it's usually a sheriff. If it's not a town and it's like a major city, then it's usually the police that do it. But they never do it alone. So what I got from this was he did it by himself while his partner was inside the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, so
That's
you
even
were
more
scared
sus.
because you were by
Yeah.
yourself. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. Like, just the whole story. And I agree with you. I think it was just, they knew, like, he knew what he was doing. He
So you're
definitely
saying
knew
that
what was doing.
he went in there with the intent to kill someone, to
The
shoot
minute,
someone.
okay, let me tell you something. The minute that you
Say
go,
what you mean. Say what you want to say.
the minute that you go onto somebody's land with a gun, your intent is to kill somebody.
Absolutely.
If you have a gun on you, your intent is to use it. You don't have a television just to not watch TV, right?
Ooh.
So
But he's a trained professional, you know, so he's
is
not.
he?
Oh.
And that's what we're trying to talk about. Is he? Is he trained?
I agree. Because if you think about a gun, only escalates any situation.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's a wellness check, for example, why would you want to have a gun? Like, why would you
Right.
want to intimidate the person that you're trying to...
Right. And
You're
there's
trying to
other ways.
de-escalate the
There's
situation.
other ways of doing things. You know, you can have a taser. There's mace. You know, they have other options
Right.
rather than killing somebody. Killing someone should be the last option.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, speaking of that, remember Ahmaud Arbery, his case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where this man was jogging
Yeah.
in Brunswick, Georgia.
Yeah.
And
All three of them now, right?
three of them, it was,
Alright,
it was,
they're going to jail.
yeah, it was a father, a son, and a neighbor who just, I'm gonna come with y'all. Let's just shoot some niggers.
Oh, God.
No, so if you guys don't know, and you're under a rock, Ahmaud Arbery was jogging, minding his business, jogging in a neighborhood that apparently he shouldn't have been jogging in. And these
His neighborhood.
Period.
okay, Bageera, don't. No, I'm just getting the facts out. He was jogging in Brunswick, Georgia, and his father and son, McDonald, whatever the fuck their names are, they saw him jogging, and they said, "Huh, this man looks like the man that's been, burglaring and raiding homes in this area for the past couple of weeks." By the way, the cops have said there was no police reports of that ever happening in that area at the time. There was no reports of raids or home raids at the time.
The saddest thing about this was, like, okay, so when they described what made him look suspicious, there's, like, a new, I guess, project that was being worked on in the area.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
and
go
he
off.
is an architect.
Mm-hmm.
So he went in to look at it just because, that's his interest.
Yeah, that was
that made him look suspicious.
there was
Like,
footage of him, seeing the architecture and whatnot.
Wow.
And then the guys showed up after that, looking for a suspect or whatever, looking for him or whatever. Anywho, this man was jogging, and these father and son got their pistol and a shotgun, drove after him, and their neighbor joined them sometime. I'm gonna go shoot him too. Got in the car, tracked him, chased him down, and tried to confront him and say, "Hey, what are you doing here? There's been some burglaries coming up in this area." And Ahmaud, of course, minding his business, "What are you talking to me about this for?"
Honestly, let me just say something. This is giving Karen. This is giving a whole bunch of Karen. And it's just like the Kyle situation, Niggas can't mind their business.
But can you imagine how terrifying?
Well,
Like, people are like coming after you in a car, you're jogging,
3 white men
and they
coming
have
at
a
you.
gun, and
shot-
they're
yeah.
asking you
It's giving
questions like that.
KKK.
Like, what do I do? I mean, I'm gonna run because either way, I'm probably gonna die.
And I was already running in the first place because I was jogging. So anyway, but you guys know, obviously, it ended up in a bad way. He ended up getting shot. and he's no longer here, those white men are all going to jail. As they should.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I remember you shared a video with me of when they were doing the testimony, when one of them was testifying.
Yeah.
And it was just like every question she asked, like, you know, what did he was he violent, whatever, and it was no. But it was just like the way the delivery,
the son was saying no.
The delivery was so cold. Like this, you know, gentleman. I mean, he's so young too. He's dead now. But that is.
But I'm pretty sure that if you guys were watching that, if one of those answers would have been yes, they would still be on trial, and they wouldn't get that much time.
Now, it took 74 days for those 3 men to get arrested. So I was over how many months? 3-4 months, almost 4 months for them to get arrested, just for that. And I know COVID is a thing; it's real. How to get this things in order, but that's just ridiculous.
Nah, it is.
To get arrested. Do you guys think because of the time we're in now that those guys got charged and they got convicted because of the time we're in now?
No, I think they got charged and convicted because of the media outlet that they had. I think if they weren't on the media, or if it wasn't such a big story, they would have been off. They would have been whatever.
No, yeah. I mean,
it's not illegal to carry.
I agree, because it's just like history repeating itself. You know? We hear about all of this shit, but like, first of all, there's no justice because
he's dead.
Yeah, he's not here. So, I don't know. It's just. I feel like also they're just giving us what we want so that everything stays calm and I want
to point out also that in Georgia there are prior to that there were no laws against hate crime at the time. So there was no laws against hate crime.
So this is now writing that.
So now since that area. They're now just doing that. And we think of Georgia, we think of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Hot Atlanta.
Yeah.
No ma'am.
Black.
I
think of black when I think of Georgia. I don't think of anything else. I think of black.
Right.
Roll your windows up and keep them up when you're driving through. That's it. I don't know about anything else. So that's surprising to me.
Yeah, but it's not like that. Atlanta is just that one part.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I'm remembering correctly, I think the state is trying to, I don't know if it's like a mayor or the governor, someone trying to take Atlanta out of their jurisdiction and like put it on. I don't know how to explain it, but I think who was it? I think like some kind of city council member was trying to get Atlanta off of their jurisdiction, trying to change it up so they don't want to have to represent Atlanta in that way.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Because they have, I mean, I don't know.
It does.
I've heard that London, I think is like. What is it? London is within. There's like the city of London, but there's also like.
London, yeah.
So one is within the other, and then they have different law that.
I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing here in New York, too. Like, because we're New York within New York, like we're New York City within New York. But if you go upstate, if you even just touch Poughkeepsie, the laws are very different.
Yeah.
Very different. Yeah.
Very different.
So. Yeah. So do you guys think living in the time that we're in now with the Black Lives Matter movement, when I just said that the reason why those murderers were Ahmaud, they got convicted was because a part of the media output or whatnot. Do you think? Well, Kyle got off, so I couldn't ask that question because Kyle got off.
Right.
Why wasn't he charged? Because he's a white kid and.
It could have been that. It could have been because he's so young.
No.
I will definitely say that him being white, I think does have lots because so when you bring up, and mind you, I personally don't think, like how you said before, is there ever justice? I agree with that. And for one thing, I'm against the prison industrial complex, and for other complex reasons, I don't think putting white supremacists in jail is actually a good thing.
No, you are my girl because it just furthered the black people that are in jail to have a longer fucking sentence, to be more of a statistic, so that way when they're in jail. But these white people, they fucking in jail for what, 2-3 years to just cause havoc, and they come out, and black people just stay in fucking jail. No, not happening. Oh, excuse my language, but yes. Go ahead, girl.
No, yeah. I think when you
Bageera
want to
Farrell
say
over
that
here bonding, and
when we want to say, you know, we want to shut down prisons, we have to stick to more than just how we feel. We have to stick to the morals that we're saying we stand for, and that goes across the board. I don't think anyone should be in prison. I don't think prison should exist.
So you think it should be a rehabilitation?
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
If you believe in transformative justice,
absolutely,
and then that is like more. That's more of like actual like when I think of like legislature and like the law system in America, I don't think of justice. I think of the history of how America was built, and I know that this system is not built for me and it will never serve me. I think transformative justice is actually trying to get to the root of the problem. You know what I mean? And that's the only way.
But then we would have to start all over though, because it was never built on transformative justice.
Exactly.
It was built on just what they thought at the time was justice. So an eye for an eye. And then putting God into it to fear us. So there was a lot, like, we would have to, like,
not these
retract to go forward. And I don't think that a lot of people are ready to retract. And I don't
I definitely think
so. I don't think a lot
of people are not ready.
And honestly, I don't, and within our community as people of color, I don't think our community is ready to retract either. They're so scared of not having any protection.
They don't want to have...
Imagine when they really don't have protection.
Right. Well, I think what we need to wake up and realize is that we already don't have any of these things.
That's the
that
problem.
We have the illusion.
We're so. But the thing is that I think that it's the illusion of it. I think that we're so brainwashed into believing that we have some kind of protection in some way, aka white allies. In some way,
having a white
Jesus, you feel so much safer when there's a white ally in front of you for some reason.
It's the white savior.
Yeah, the Jesus comes down from the white heaven, the pearly gates. All that is white. There's nothing about it that's black.
Yep.
Even the cloth that he wears is white. No, for real.
But in the Bible, his hair is, woolly and kinky or whatever the hell. But
yes, it's a lot.
But hold on, that's another episode, you guys. Stay tuned for that.
Well, Christianity was not invented by Jesus. That's another.
Hold it. Because
this whole world is built on white supremacy.
Yeah.
So to reel us back in.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any justice in the legal system. But what bothers me specifically about the Rittenhouse case is not that he was acquitted. I really don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But the fact that. So self-defense, right, is how he got away with this.
He feared for his life.
And in Kenosha, there's a woman who had killed her sex trafficker.
Yes.
And did they not try to fight that it was self-defense, and she still didn't get acquitted for that.
And she was a black woman.
And she was a what?
And so that's why
a black woman.
She was a what?
I definitely think him being white has something to do with it.
A black what?
A black woman.
A black woman.
Yeah.
Black women, they just get the shittiest end of the stick.
I mean, they're the most unappreciated person in this world.
Who said that? MLK?
Well, it's a fact.
That's true.
It's a fact.
We're still. I don't know how there's no justice for Breonna Taylor to this day, but
it's the truth.
Well,
you have to think about it like this. If we're gonna think about it in how the world thinks about it, this is not how we may not think like this. This is how the world thinks about it. A man comes first, and what comes before a black man is a white man.
Right.
So white man will be first, then I would say a white woman, because if she comes crying into the scene, that's it. Then a black man, and then a black woman.
Absolutely.
Even at rest, even when we're completely still, we're still, as black people, are still a threat. And I just don't, that's what I learned about the Breonna Taylor case. She was sleeping in her home. Yeah. And she was still a threat, but, go off.
Yeah, but that just goes back onto what she was saying about
just
defunding, just abolishing the police in general.
And people are not ready for that one.
I just don't think so.
And it's like, I don't know. I think all the money that the police get, I can't speak for everywhere, but in New York, it's insane how much money is allocated to the police. And for what? They spend let me not say that. Someone's going to tell me that this is fake. But I mean, police spend so much time riding around the block, like trying to find things to do. But
right around what block? What block they ride around?
Oh, exactly.
Okay.
Let's not even get, because in the ghetto, they don't even have to ride around the block. They set up the black people watching station.
Yeah.
The what? The lights?
In the
Wait.
Right.
You call them the what? The black people watching station?
Yeah.
They better go off.
The BPWS.
So since Kyle has been, acquitted, right, of all those charges, right? There's a black kid, again in Texas, I believe, Timothy Simpkins, who brought a gun to school. And apparently he's been being bullied and whatnot. I know, right? A black kid bringing a gun to school, right? I know.
I'm in shock.
Jay's just shocked.
I'm not shocked. You're
Really?
shocked?
Yes, I'm shocked.
You ain't never been to, is this an all white school or all black school?
It's a mixed school, but I think it's predominantly white. Actually.
White?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I've been to a all black school, and I've seen hood buggers in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But no one ever tried
to
to
use them.
No.
Right.
Even when they were fighting, they didn't use them.
No.
Did he say he was going to shoot up the school?
No. So
did he use it?
Yes, he did use it.
Shot someone.
He did. Well, he was just shooting around aimlessly because
Oh my god.
he injured his pregnant teacher, which is
My God.
so sad. But she's fine. The baby
How
is
old is
fine.
he?
He was 17, so same age as Child when he did his his thing. Timothy didn't murder anybody. He didn't kill anyone.
Right.
Okay.
Kyle did. But Timothy, did bring a gun to school. Allegedly, he was being bullied. And that takes a toll on you. Your mental health, it's trauma, and he said whatever he thought bringing a gun to school would help him some way, and he did what he did. Now he's on trial. It's in the same. So Kyle got off saying self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all think maybe Timothy might get the same treatment?
No.
No.
Not at all.
Do I think he deserves the same treatment? No. They both brung a gun to school.
So that's what shocks me about the.
He brung a gun to school. He brung a gun to a rally. It's the same concept.
Mm-hmm.
Does it matter what gun? Was it a handgun?
Well, he brought a handgun, but
so a lesser sentence.
So when you try to fight for self-defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
It shifts the burden of proof
Mm-hmm.
onto you. So before that, right, they were going to charge him with first-degree homicide,
Mm-hmm.
and they would have had to prove without a doubt that he did that,
Who,
which
Kyle?
you could argue is hard to prove.
Kyle,
But
right?
now, yeah.
Okay.
But if you claim self-defense, now you have to prove, without any doubt that,
that you were
you were defending yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And because I don't really know the case that well, but I guess he said that a gun was pointed at him.
The trial is still.
He heard a gunshot.
Yeah. Anything can be self-defense.
There's video of him arguing with other protesters.
Which is being used as self-defense.
Someone did hit him with a skateboard. Praise them. I hope they're doing fine. I hope they're doing well.
They should have hit him a little bit harder.
So I guess for Timothy, it depends if he argues self-defense or not. But they're going to say that he came to school with the gun.
Right.
So
there
he had
was
the
an
intent.
there was an intent to kill.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
premeditated.
also, the reports are, because it's very recent. It's trial. It hasn't even been started yet, but it's still investigating. He was just shooting aimlessly because he didn't want to do it. He was just.
He was trying to claim back some of his power.
Exactly.
Maybe. Because we don't know what happened to that.
We don't know.
We don't know. So maybe they was threatening him. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't take threats lightly.
Obviously, I don't think it's okay to wave a gun around.
But when you were 17 years old and somebody said something to you like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat you up at 3:00." Did you think I'm gonna go home and go grab my parents' gun? I don't know if your parents had guns. Mine did.
It depends on how.
If I felt like my life was in danger,
so you would grab the gun before the mace? Before the bat, before the knife,
Listen,
before the scissors.
people are crazy, and especially when you're getting bullied.
Bleach.
Yeah, like what kind of?
Ooh.
No, I mean I don't know what kind
Not
of
the
bullying.
bleach.
Yeah,
that
like,
drove
that's
him
what I'm
to-
saying. We don't
and
know
that
how-
doesn't mean that I'm saying it's okay.
And we don't know how long this has been going on.
Right, like
You know?
this could have really impacted
Right.
his self-image.
And we know how kids
his
are.
Yeah.
mental
Kids-
health,
yeah.
and
And
he
they
could have
coulda
gotten to a
even-
place of desperation. Maybe he brought the gun to kill himself. We
Right.
don't even know
and then
what
he
the
could
intent
have
really
probably
was.
even been being bullied online too.
But
you
can
know?
we say the same thing for Kyle Rittenhouse?
You got that? Yeah, okay.
Well, and to be honest with you, I don't think any child should go to
Should
jail.
go to school. I don't
think any
jail.
child should go to jail.
I don't think he should be
I
in
think,
jail in general.
Right, exactly.
But the prison system is not for kids. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't even think it's for certain adults.
So I do think anything that I'm affording Timothy, I would be affording Kyle Rittenhouse. But for me, it's more of like
But-
what this does, like in the legislature that I'm worried
Kyle-
about, rather than Kyle Rittenhouse as an individual.
Kyle-
I think as an individual, sure, he's been raised in a completely different culture
Right.
than I have.
Absolutely.
So I don't know how he sees, Black Lives Matter. He obviously sees it way different than I see it.
Yeah.
So like that's just two different worlds. I can't be in his head.
Well,
but that's not the problem. The problem is
but-
that does this now mean that vigilantism and like, you know what I mean? White
Yeah.
supremacist vigilantism does that mean that
It's
it's okay?
okay.
Or is it going to embolden people to be like, well, I can, if Kyle Rittenhouse got this, maybe I could do this
Hold on,
when
Jane.
I
End of the day.
go to court.
But I think also like Kyle wasn't provoked. You
Well,
know?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think
he was provoked. That's
Do you think so?
there's footage out there of him.
The minute that you're not black, you're provoked. Okay, that's just point blank.
Because like
There's no
I
way.
feel like he
well,
could've-
obviously he came in being against their cause.
Right,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's
yeah,
gonna start
so
making it
both
harder.
of them were premeditated but Kyle drove 30 minutes out
right.
to get to that part of town
Right.
because he was from another part of town.
But I
I'll go-
feel
I'll go
like
back
he
to-
just
it's
took
very-
it upon himself to do this.
He did, yes,
You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that kid was kind of like provoked.
Well, in both cases, I think
They were
the
provoked.
fact that
They
their
both were
children
provoked.
is.
Yeah.
I do think, yeah, he took
However-
it upon himself to be like, oh, I'm gonna
Hold
go
up,
be
hold up,
whatever,
hold up,
you know.
hold up.
But he
Kids,
is 17. I don't think his mind is developed enough to think beyond the present moment and like.
I just want to point out Kyle did murder 2 people.
Right.
Oh,
And,
right.
and Timothy
Exactly.
Timothy only injured one person. That person is fine and whatnot. But Kyle did kill 2 people.
Okay.
So are we still
I mean,
affording him?
this
Are we still
might be-
affording
Yeah, and I do think Timothy was having a little meltdown. Like the fact that he was waving the gun around.
Yeah, because low key,
Big meltdown.
Cause
I think that was
I was like, girl, I was with you. She said,
meltdown.
little meltdown. I'm
I
like,
think that was definitely a
'cause hold
meltdown.
on.
And I think what should have happened. I think
the one thing we all know, it's one thing we all say. Our parents don't play that. That we don't do that.
Yeah,
we
like, where are
don't.
your
We don't,
parents?
we don't do that.
where
Well,
your
that's what
parents?
I was gonna ask too.
Yeah.
Because my
But-
mom would have beat the shit out of me.
Exactly. When he
Right.
got home, I think it was his parents who said, "Turn yourself in." I think it was
Right.
his parents, if I'm not mistaken. But we hide things from our parents all the time. Our parents are. We're in school for 8 hours of the day.
Yeah, I'm
So
17 years old.
17 years old. So
Hormones.
and then when you get home.
Hormones.
And then when you get home, maybe there was online abuse from people
Right.
at the school as well. So
That's what I was.
from
that's what I
the
was-
time he got from home to school to home, there probably was abuse from where allegedly it's from being taunted or whatever. Kids
And we don't know
terrible.
Well,
what
I
was going
think,
on
yeah,
at
it
his
can
home
get-
too. Like with his parents or whatever.
I mean, he could have had the perfect upbringing, and he could have been an
Yeah,
A1 student.
Kyle had
He
a
could've
good
been whatever.
upbringing, and he murdered 2 people.
Yeah, but Kyle's white.
Yeah, but that.
But are we not? But we're trying to.
I mean, but that's still.
But
doesn't-
we're saying we're trying to be equal here because
Okay,
if
okay,
you're
okay.
giving Kyle this okay, he shouldn't go to jail. Or not, he was provoked. What about Timothy?
Right. Okay.
Are we affording
I
the
see what we're
same?
doing here.
But if we had an alternative system in the first place,
You're
This
damn
way
right.
we
You're
would never-
damn right. You're
yeah,
damn
we would be
right.
able to take care of people with mental health issues.
You're damn right.
properly.
You're damn right. Now,
so you think Kyle has mental health issues?
no, he's
okay.
he's a sound state of mind.
I mean,
He's white.
It's
Yes,
in his
it's a
genetics.
it's,
Oh damn!
no, I'm serious.
No.
In their genetics, they don't.
Farrell says this all the
No,
time,
yeah,
you
but
guys.
I mean, people who like white supremacists, right? Like the way that they see America.
Talk about
that's
it.
the problem, and
No,
I mean that's what we're like when we're talking about like decolonize and like we want to abolish the prison industrial system, we want to abolish police. I mean, I think our greater like our greater goal is to actually like uproot white supremacy. If that's possible, then that's obviously what the goal is.
I'm with it, but it's.
But
where do we start? First
and
of
then
all,
like some white people in this country believe that
white is right.
Us being empowered is taken away from their sovereignty.
Yeah, if you think Black Lives Matter
They
takes
think
away
that
from
makes
you,
this no longer a safe place for them because they see this country as this is where I belong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
They have
that's
kind of
like, you know, when people say, "Oh, just because I'm pro-black doesn't mean
that I'm anti-you."
Right.
Yeah,
right.
but it's because their vision of things is so skewed that they can't see that.
Right.
They can't see that being, existing together. They're mutually exclusive. And that makes logical sense. Mm-hmm. Because this country, our ancestors were brought here to create wealth for them. Mm-hmm. This country was built on that premise that we don't have value, that we aren't human.
Stolen? I think we were stolen.
Ooh.
I think they stole us from our land and then brought us here. I don't think we were
So you're saying white people didn't discover America?
And then
there was no discovery.
And then slaves being freed.
Conspiracy
theory.
Yeah, slaves
being freed, if anything, heightened the existing animosity between these two groups. Because poor white people now had to compete with people that they didn't even think were people.
Yeah.
Oh, I got chills.
Yeah.
So now the people that were treated as cattle are now
treated as
people.
human beings.
Yeah.
And now that's scary for them because they don't know what the hell they're gonna do.
Yes.
But we've always been more powerful than they have.
Oh,
I was watching this thing with somebody who said I'll bring in 50 men, 50 white men to come into this land and to take all these slaves. So basically to trick them into thinking that they were going to help them. Mm-hmm. And that's how they got them. So you mean it only took 50 white men to basically start slavery. And then everything after that, where we're at today. Mm. It only took 50 white men. 50 white men.
That's crazy.
So they're technically not as dumb as I perceive them to be.
No, but we know that. We know that they're not dumb because they have a whole system built in place to keep us oppressed.
Yeah. Exactly.
And for them to benefit so they can benefit from that to this day. We're in 2021, 22? Mm-hmm. So it's been how long? And slavery was not that long ago, you kids. Mm-hmm. My great-grandmother's still alive, and she was alive during, segregation and whatnot. So slavery is not that long ago.
And Rosa Parks died when, 2006?
Yeah. So come on now. Oh. Come on now. So so I love how white people just keep saying, that was hundreds of years ago. No, it wasn't, bitch. No,
but they're still benefiting off of something that was 100 years ago.
Exactly. Before you tell me to forget about something, write me a check. Are you gonna do that? If you want me to forget about it, write me a check.
Going off topic for a little bit. Going off topic. Wait. Before you, so the Jews got a check.
The Jews got a check.
They got a check. Mm-hmm. And during this Asian lies, this Asian hate, stop Asian hate thing, they got a check.
Wait.
They got a check.
They got a check?
They got a check. They got a check.
They got a bill too.
Hold up. I'm just saying facts. I'll get it for you in a second.
Okay.
Palestine got a check. Free Palestine.
No, but Palestine's not free. I don't see how.
They're still not free.
Well, they're not free, but the America donated over $100 million to that movement. You're black. I'm black. You're black. Mm-hmm. Did y'all get anything in the mail? Did I miss that?
Nobody.
A stimulus.
Yeah.
But everyone got that. That's not fair.
I got a little bit of unemployment. That was it.
Where's my 40 acres in my mule? I didn't get one. Did you get yours?
There's not enough 40 acres for everybody here. And technically, too, you also have to look at it like this. Honestly, my family, there's no history of slavery in my family. So I wouldn't get any of that. Mm-hmm. If anything, I'm more like a Native American.
Abroad? No.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
If anything, I'm more like a Native American type of style, Hispanic.
Well,
there's no. I know
Native people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there was no genocide or anything within my family. There was no slavery. There was nothing within my family tree. So for me, it's
I'm happy you know that.
I actually can go back to my family tree and see who's my great grandparents.
Awesome.
You guys probably can't.
No, I can't.
So then that also puts into question, does every black person deserve?
I think
Yes.
And black.
Yes.
And person of color.
Yes.
That's
But
a
every
good question.
black person
Yes.
deserves the
That's a good
same
question.
Yes.
type of feel.
Except Stacey's dad. She can't get shit.
Oh man. Poor Stacey.
Okay, so to bring it back, so these cases.
Well, I think okay, and to be fair, I think reparations is about it's a joke, but it's about more than just cutting someone a check. I think reparations.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, we can start.
is more
It'll be a
about,
help. You can start there.
Yeah, reparations is more about dismantling systems of power as they exist now.
Yeah. Which
That's
is
really
where
what
they
we
can
mean when we're
write the
talking about
legislation.
reparations.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to just write new bills. They need to just
Or we could just
start.
or we could just dismantle everything and start fresh, maybe. Or, but
We will have to change everything.
in our lifetime, do you think we'll even start that in our lifetime? Do you think?
No.
Our
But I
lifetime?
do think
Yeah. There's too many of us talking about it. Before, I think there was a lot of people talking about it, but wasn't really too in on the action of it. I don't think there was really a lot of people who were like,
Who about it?
somebody who walked down the street and was like, nigga, and then I turned around and smacked the shit out of you. Before they were wearing the suits and the ties, and they was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna keep walking because we want jobs. No, fuck you in your job. Now I'm gonna
Right.
beat your shit. Now I'm gonna beat your shit in. Fuck you in your job. Now it's a different energy now.
Mm-hmm.
Now we went from being upset and polite to just plain old upset. And then now it's like getting kind of tiresome.
Sincerely,
Yeah.
his hands.
But there's
I'm
so many
tired.
layers.
Yeah.
So
I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm upset. Bitch, there's so many layers.
I mean, like, the work is never.
Unfortunately, it's never going to be
Yeah.
done. As long as there's still a bad bone in the world, just in general. As long as there's still negative energy and positive energy, there's always going to be something bad that's going to happen. But we can't, at one point, we're going to have to sit down and say, we cannot blame this on race, we cannot blame this on mental illness, we cannot blame this because we have those systems set in order for us to have that. Then we can keep that person like, no, you just individually did this on your own because this is what you wanted to do and you're an evil person. Then we can take it from there. But right now, there's
We're
so
not
many
there.
things happening
We're not
that
there.
we can't even ask if the white boy is better than the black boy is better than the white boy because the black boy was bullied or the white boy was threatened. We can't even figure that out.
Well, I mean, everyone has their own stuff.
Absolutely.
For sure. It's not just that like.
So,
material
okay,
consequences
so-
are not the only thing that.
Do y'all? So
There's other ways that you could get screwed over in life.
So do
I
y'all?
think everyone has
Do you guys
say,
think
but-
that this? So do y'all think this Kyle Rittenhouse trial turned out fair?
He's a child, yes.
No. So you made a face, Jay. So,
I don't-
Hold
I'm
on,
not
wait,
gonna
wait,
use the
wait,
word
wait,
fair,
wait, Jay.
but-
You made a face.
I mean, he
'Cause-
did kill like 2 people,
What
right?
Pharaoh just said was it fair? He was 17. Yes. So
No, yeah. I mean, he
I
did
mean,
kill 2 people.
I mean, now that I think about it, he was 17, so he's old enough to consent.
Right.
but you
Sexually.
Right.
No, I think.
But
Yeah,
but
17.
Oh.
You're old enough to consent sexually. Is he old enough to even buy a gun? Is he old enough to have a gun?
in Kenosha, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
he is.
I mean, he can drive.
But he's old enough to go to the army. You know
He
what I'm
is.
saying?
He is. So he's old enough to have a gun.
Right. And old enough to know right
for
from
his
wrong.
country.
You know? So I think, yeah.
So was his trial fair? Is what I'm asking. Do you think it's
No.
fair for no?
Because he killed people.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? He killed people.
I don't think the prison system is for him, though. I don't think it should have been.
I don't think it's for
it should-
anybody.
I don't think that should be it. I think he should go to some kind of rehabilitation center
Right.
for people who are just maybe that are violent, are extremely violent, where they have one-on-one with trained professionals that are able to sit down and say, "Hey, this is some of the things that are going on with you. This is why you did what you did."
No, yeah.
And there are consequences behind it. So he would have to stay in there for like 6 years and then see another judge to see if he's eligible to get out of that rehabilitation to go back into the world and maybe do a halfway society instead of a halfway house, halfway society, where you keep people that are extremely violent in an enclosed like city or something,
Nice little
and they
small
all
town.
stay there with officials who are trained,
Yeah.
who can see if they are eligible to get back into the real world. I don't think people like that should be within us, around
No,
us.
yeah. I agree too. I agree. But like,
But get it out. Get it out.
Anytime you have something where it's like separating the real world from like I don't know, I feel like that's easily corruptible.
Absolutely, but you want to know something? Like, there's no way that we can possibly stop anything bad from happening.
Yeah, but exactly. I mean, I honestly, that's just life.
Yeah,
life is not fair.
But, I mean, do you really think... Okay, so this is my thing, right? Would you feel comfortable sitting next to him on the train? You personally.
But I don't know who I sit next to on the train. I could be sitting next to him.
We all could be.
I have no idea.
But you know,
but
you know
right.
him, who that man is.
Only because
you know who he is. You would not feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable sitting next to him.
But then again, Farrell, you don't feel comfortable around a white people at all.
I don't take the train, so I don't know why I'm saying. I don't know why I'm saying the train, but I didn't take the train. That's why I drive. So, I don't know. But still, like, I mean, I understand what you're saying because it just limits the possibility for growth with inside the real world, even though the real world is everywhere. It doesn't matter.
And I feel like what we were getting at was there's a reason why this happened. And there's a long history behind that reason. And what we want to really get rid of is that, right? So if that didn't exist, this couldn't have happened. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
it's not just him.
It's not just him.
Well, we know it's not just him.
He's a pawn in the whole...
Oh, they're listening. Oh, don't...
Yes, I agree, but did he know that he was a pawn when he was doing those things? Absolutely not.
No.
Right.
So he still needs to be held accountable for
you're
saying.
No, yeah, okay. The accountability I agree with. Yeah. But I feel like accountability is one of the key points of transformative justice, so that we hold ourselves accountable, we hold each other accountable.
But if he himself...
But we still believe in each other and that we're humans. And it's just about having humanity for each other.
But this is where we messed up in the beginning.
Over like a culture of punishment.
But you don't feel like that's where we messed up in the beginning?
Having humanity for each other? Mm-hmm. No, I think that's what I want to reclaim.
No, I think that's where we messed up in the beginning. I think that we believed these white men into thinking they were human, and they had these feelings.
We're all human. Don't clap, Jay.
And they meant no. I'm like not human in that sense, not genetically, because
yes, you did.
But I'm saying like in a compassionate way, where they thought about us as humans as well. We equally were giving to each other.
Well, okay, what did they see when white people saw slaves? Right, dollar signs. They didn't see people.
Yeah, they didn't see people.
So the problem was capitalism. Creating a society where we have to compete with each other to the point that we have to now lower someone to no longer be human so that I can be better than. Creating a system where if I don't have power, I can make power by enforcing, over someone. And I think a culture of punishment is similar. Punishment is saying that it's a way of like, I have power because I'm taking it away from someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, that power came from humanity. You still have to think of that person.
Well, I think of it as the difference between like true power and the systematic power. I think there's a complete difference. True power is in each of us. Yeah,
absolutely.
And
okay. Let's not get too off topic because we're going to go off on a whole other tangent.
No, I think it's a good conversation.
One of the reasons why I think transformative justice is so important is because I think that it can be empowering. Like a lot of people who are considered criminals, right, are people that just feel powerless.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
And we're giving them back their power by treating them like a real person, believing in them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And once you stand in your power, you can't do anything wrong.
Absolutely, but then that goes back on to trusting too much, and it can lead us right back into the same hole. So
to be honest with you, if I'm really, and this is the limit of where I could go as far as like theory, because me personally, I wouldn't have the desire to exist anymore if I couldn't believe in people. I'd probably kill myself. I really don't believe in the world that we live in already. That's one thing that's depressing enough for me. But just believing in people is the only thing that's keeping me going. That would be the limit of where I couldn't argue with you there because I have to believe in people.
Well, this got really dark.
I mean,
no, I think it's important.
I agree with you because I also believe in people, but to a certain extent. I think that everybody has an agenda and everybody has a path. And I just think that my path and your path sometimes are not meant to cross. If they do cross, then they do cross. And if they're meant to go that way, they're meant to go that way. I mean, my grandmother had plenty of friends growing up that she doesn't even there's no conversation. Like they don't talk to each other. There's no kind of relationship, nothing. But those people helped her get to where she's at. I mean, at some point, she did have to trust and not trust those people. That's what kept her alive for so long. That's what kept her happy. That's what made her, have her family still be here to this day.
But when you talk about life paths and spirit, we believe that spirit works through people.
But
So-
not everybody. If we're gonna
I don't
talk
have
about
to like
spirit,
someone.
Not
No,
everybody.
No,
is
no,
human.
but I mean, I don't have to like someone to know that what happened in my life regarding them happened for a reason, and it became part of my life path. Because
Absolutely.
spirit worked through that person, and I don't like that person, and I don't want to talk to them or ever see them. But I know that this happened for a reason, right? That's because I believe, you know.
Absolutely, but there's been situations that I don't know your story, but there's probably been situations that you've been in that you go and you say, I was better off not knowing this person.
Hell yeah.
So going back on to trusting people, there's still a limit of there's situations, and it's always going to be like that. It doesn't matter how we put it. It's always going to be like that. But I think that if we were to just treat people according to how they act from the very beginning, we would have been fine. They were shady when just thinking about the whole slavery incident. Let's call it an incident.
Debacle.
The debacle.
The event.
The event.
Make it quick. Make it quick.
Slavery, just thinking about the whole slavery thing or whatever. The white people, they came and they started talking to talking to black people. We got 5 minutes, y'all. Sorry.
Yeah.
Telling us to
You're like, I just need 5 minutes.
I'm the Whoopi Goldberg of the group. We got a commercial break soon.
But no, we have just going back to the whole slavery thing. You had white men come up to these black men who have their own power, as you would say, because they had their own power. There was nothing oppressing them. They didn't have any issues health-wise. They didn't burn in the sun. They were fine. They were doing what they do normally. They had their own language. They had their own last names.
Own
They had their
currency.
own currency. We had our own stuff. We trusted in these individuals to come and to tell us certain things. And then some of us weren't even just trusted. Some of us didn't even trust them. They were forced. So we had the easy way or the hard way. And then we had the easy way and the hard way. So it wasn't like either or. It didn't matter. It was going to happen anyways. If from the beginning, if somebody would have told these people, this exact group of people,
Don't trust them.
it's not about trusting them. If they would have told them from the beginning, your neighbor is not as friendly as you think your neighbor is. Or your neighbor you don't know what your neighbor does behind closed doors. If they were aware of that, when these new people came into town, they would have said, who the fuck are these people? Because now, if you think about it, if somebody new moves into your town and you see that person, you go, who the fuck is this person? Somebody talks to you in the supermarket, why are you talking to me in the supermarket?
Her.
What do you want from me in the supermarket? So I think we used to have that same kind of thought process, but also with a little bit of compassion and a little bit of, I guess, it just compassion and just having the mental state to switch that on and say, you know what, you're a human being. I'm going to respect you as a human being. But I also need to know what is it that you're going to take from me.
Yep.
Right.
And just have that open dialogue. I think we would be fine. But I don't know if we're ever going to get to that.
Well,
anytime soon.
it's gonna be a while. But so quick final thoughts. One question: do you guys think Timothy, the kid who brought a gun to school, do you think he'll get off, or what do you think will happen to him? Do you think he'll have a fair trial as well?
Is that a trick question?
You just made me all sad. That poor kid.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, so I guess that's it. Sorry, Timothy. The way I'm rooting for you, sir. I really am.
Yeah, we all rooting for you, sir.
But what these people just said just now,
it's not looking good for you,
if
sir.
If he was like going through it because of being bullied and then going to jail, is not going to help anything. That's going to make it way worse.
Okay, all right. Well,
maybe he'll convert.
Anywho, we don't got time for that, guys.
Everybody's here for a reason. If his reasoning for being on this earth is to learn that lesson, let him learn it. Just have his truth be told. Make sure he tells the truth. That's
and if you were being bullied by white people,
other than that, I don't.
If you're being bullied by them, so that by
I
Chad,
think that was a good final word.
Fuck Chad.
Who's Chad?
Who's bullying Timothy?
Oh! You got me like
Chad and Jacob and John
and Jill and
that
Irish
and that bitch Brittany. Fuck that bitch Brittany. I couldn't stand her. But no, you guys. Okay, so that was
all
very.
the black people with those names just signed off your podcast.
Yeah.
Brittany, bitch.
They all said, "Yo, fuck this."
Brittany, bitch, come back. I didn't mean it. But
Well,
no.
thank you guys so much for being here too.
Yes,
Thank you for
hopefully.
filling in for
Having us.
Tandrell.
Yes,
He was
fucking
having a hard
a hard
a
night.
hard night.
But this is very thought provoking and very intuitive. I hope you guys have you guys back for this. This was
course.
really good.
Yes, definitely. Where can we find you guys like on
Yes,
social media?
yes.
So that we can follow you?
Bageera, yes.
I don't really use mine.
Bageera, what's your Instagram? Damn, y'all not prepared.
No, I know.
Listen.
One day I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna have a whole blog,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna tell you the link.
Okay, well, I'll put their links. You know, when we upload this, so you guys can find them. Jay and Bageera. But thank you guys so much. This is episode 2. Next time we're going to be talking about something very interesting. And I hope you guys can get you guys here for that.
Yes.
But thank you, world. Episode 2 of The Hub. If you're black, stay black. If you're white,
Right. Goodbye.
bye.